I need to talk to you about that dream you've been having, and I need you to understand it and really plumb its depth. So, you have this dream, it's at night, and you're on horseback, and you're going through a mountain pass, and it's cold, and there's snow on the ground, and you sense me around you, but then I just ride right past you. I don't even talk to you, and I keep on going. And when you look back, you only see 4 hoof prints in the snow, and you say, 40, how did you abandon me when I needed you most? And I say, son, I didn't abandon you. That's when I picked you up, and I picked your horse up, and I put you over my shoulder, and I carried you. Okay, so anyway, I don't say nothing, and I just keep going by. I just ride on past, and I got my blanket like wrapped around me, and my head is down, and I ride past. And as I go past you, you see that I'm carrying fire in a horn the way that people used to do. And you can see the horn from the light inside it. It's like the color of the moon. And in the dream, right, you know that I'm going on ahead, right? And I'm fixing to make a fire somewhere out there and all that dark and all that cold. And you know that when you get there, I'll be there, right? Because I have gone to prepare a place for you so that where I am, you may be also. So I had this situation today. I was at a stoplight waiting for the walk signal, and this big old black SUV drives up, and there's this gorgeous blonde driver in like black evening wear, and then an attractive young female friend of hers eating frozen yogurt. And I'm like looking, and then they look at me. So what's the right thing to do here? Should I like quickly like turn away, or should I smile? Should I hold their gaze? Like, you know, the male gaze, it's a problematic thing these days. So what would you do in that situation? So I think I smiled, nodded, and then I turned and looked for my walk signal, because I learned in one of my 12-step programs, all right, that you know, staring at attractive young women doesn't do you any good. You don't want to be a starer, right? Staring can make people uncomfortable, and I'm not here to make people uncomfortable. Like, I am going on ahead. This show is one big virtue signal, right? The good deeds that I accomplish on this show, the moral clarity that I bring on this show, right? The sound epistemics that I deliver day in, day out, right? These are my good deeds going on ahead of me and ahead of you, going on through the night in the cold and the snow, to light a fire for me up ahead, all right? My good deeds are my ambassadors, right? My show is my ambassador going on ahead. The main thing is to deny them my essence. So I started talking to an art teacher, an art professor today, and she's got to work 3 jobs, right, to pay the bills, right? Like, being an art teacher or art professor is not everything that you might think it's cracked up to be. So that's certainly challenging. And what made her all the more alluring is that she loves to read. And then she was, you know, pretty young, intelligent woman, and she had this nose ring like through her nostrils. And I was like simultaneously repelled and yet strangely attracted. I wanted to very gently reach out and take that nose ring and then lead her to the path of Torah, to the path of righteousness, to the path of modesty. And I wanted to read to her my 99 theses for how to create a good life, right? My rules for life. And then I wanted to share with her my 87 principles for decoding reality. And then if we become really close, I might share with her my diary from my more carefree days, where I would just fling myself hither and thither, and you know, I didn't mind giving myself a hand, and some of the epic insights that I achieved during these carefree, much younger days before I became the king of no fat. But that's how comfortable I felt with this art professor, that I was even willing to, you know, open up and share with her my diary. I mean, there are not many women that you encounter that one would feel, you know, that safe, right? That accepted. Like, I felt like I didn't have to explain to her when I was being sarcastic. I didn't have to explain when I was being ironic. Didn't have to explain to her when I was being sarcastically and ironically mansplaining. I mean, do you understand? Do you get how beautiful that is? when you start talking to someone and they get you. You don't have to explain things. You don't have to put things in bright lights. You don't have to say, oh, that was irony, or that was sarcasm, or that was hyperbole, or that was just mild exaggeration. So refreshing. Then today, also refreshing, I saw this lovely young child in a school uniform. So where I come from, Australia, like all the kids wear school uniforms to school, whether it's public school, private school. Same in England, all the kids go to school in uniforms. And it was just so nice seeing an American kid in a school uniform. And I wanted to talk to the kid and his young mother, but I didn't want to interfere because they were very wrapped up in an intense conversation. Like she was pulling these different faces and he was just absolutely entranced. And then she dropped something and I went over and I picked it up and I handed it to her and now had an opening. It's like, oh, it's so nice to see a child in school uniform. And then she mentioned the school where he went. And I said, oh yeah, I used to date a girl who went to that school. I mean, then I explained, look, she went to that school. She graduated from that school. She'd graduated from that school, many years previous to my dating her. And the mother said, so she wasn't still wearing the school uniform? I said, well, only on special occasions. And then that was the end of the conversation. So I'm concerned. Was that inappropriate, what I said? That this lovely young woman I used to date only wore her school uniform on special occasions. I wonder if I might have gone over boundary. So remember the 2020 election and how late that night, right, it became pretty clear that Joe Biden was on a trajectory to win that election. And Donald Trump comes out and gives a news conference saying that the election's been robbed from him. And then over the next few days and weeks, Donald Trump keeps harping on that the election was stolen from him and he just couldn't get any elite support, right? Republicans, by and large, did not follow him. And there were no great lawyers who were willing to take up his cause. And his whole operation to try to deny the election result was just abysmal. I mean, it was just ludicrous. It was just schlock, right? And I was thinking about that. And then after January 6th, how overwhelmingly Republicans abandoned him, wanted nothing to do with Trump. Elites 100% abandoned Trump after January 6th. He was banned on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all across social media, just universal condemnation. And there's a very different reaction today to his conviction, right? Republican legal elites overwhelmingly did not side. 100% of Republican legal elites did not side with Donald Trump in his challenge for the 2020 election. But overwhelmingly, they are siding with Donald Trump with regard to his 34 felony convictions in New York City. I mean, they are just solidly lining up behind him. Now, the non-Republican legal experts and mainstream media journalists covering the trial, right, they are obviously happy that Donald Trump was convicted, and they don't make the same points that Republican legal elites are making about how the trial was a travesty. But there is one key word that the dominant liberal left elites are using, and that is that the prosecutor Alvin Bragg's legal theory underlying the case is weak and is the most likely grounds for appeal and the most likely successful grounds for appeal. So they don't like to talk very much about how the conviction of Trump was based on a very weak legal theory.